Hi, everybody. I am so excited, as always, to be back with you, my friends. It is wonderful to get a chance to talk to you today. Can you feel it in the air? The seasons are changing. It is autumn, and that's going to be kind of what prompts our conversation today. Let's talk about this time of year. What does it call up to us? How can we best enjoy it? What are some ways that we can enhance our experience at this time of the year? So I want to have this be a discussion about a holistic approach.
Holistic means to take into consideration not just physical, but spiritual, mental, and social health as well. The changing of the seasons and the cold months can bring a few challenges to our well-being.
How can we best support our health so we can enjoy it? How can we protect ourselves and our families and our homes, our environments?
While this welcome change of seasons can be beautiful with fall colors, cooler temperatures, and sweaters, it also brings with it some seasonal threats, more time spent indoors, and sometimes carbohydrate cravings.
You know, we don't want to approach this just from one direction or another direction, although we're sometimes encouraged to do that by the various, articles you might see online or books you might read. No, I want us to think about our health as a whole. I want us to look at it from various angles and think about ways that we can support our health in lots of different mechanisms. So,
Boosting and strengthening your immune system is key.
right, this is something that really we don't think about until we need it, until we're, feeling sick or feeling run down. But ideally, we have this in our mind at all times. It's something that we support, something that we encourage through our healthy lifestyle so that it's always there when we need it. And it supports us during these times, especially when fall comes. So
During winter months, we often spend more time indoors. While this can mean more time as a family, drinking warm drinks, and cozying up to a fire, it can also mean more time spent with poor air circulation, lower vitamin D due to less time spent in the sun, and a slightly more unclean space.
we may not be as active as we would be during the spring and summer months. So what does that mean for our immune systems? Let's talk about that. And not just about our internal immune systems, but also about our environments, right? This is an important aspect of our lives, what surrounds us, what we put into our lungs and onto our bodies. This is a very important way to think about supporting our health and supporting our immune systems. So when I say that, immune system support, what comes to mind? Does something pop in your mind? Was it On Guard? If that's the case, you're just like me. That's the first thing I think about.
This blend of wild orange, clove, cinnamon leaf and bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary has a beautiful, clean scent.
I've got On Guard in our diffuser at home. My kids love the aroma. They associate it with this kind of fall air. It's this lovely, kind of uplifting, kind of spicy aroma. They love it. And I love it because when I've got On Guard in the diffuser, I feel like, okay, I'm doing something to positively support my environment and my immune system and my kids' immune systems.
Its effectiveness quickly convinces even the most skeptical user. The On Guard family of products utilizes our certified pure, tested grade oils to clean both inside and out.
Now, this is a blend that was specifically formulated for this support of a healthy immune system. It is made with citrus. It's got some wild orange in there. It's got cinnamon and clove for that really spicy aroma. And the thing is, it doesn't just smell good, right? I want to drive home that point to you. And I want you to start thinking about essential oils in terms of more than just an aroma, right? It is a good ambience for your home, but it's so much more than that. So looking a little bit deeper into the chemistry, we've got cinnamaldehyde from cinnamon. That's one of its main components. This is a very powerful molecule for helping to support that immune system and helping to keep environments safe and healthy. We've got eugenol from clove. And again, those two, they're not the same chemical, but they have similar properties. Those two components do. The eugenol from clove and cinnamaldehyde from cinnamon. And of course, the wild orange contributes a wonderful amount of limonene. Now, this is probably something you've heard about before. This is what we would like to think of for kind of a purifying effect. We use this to clean and for this uplifting aroma. And those three things are kind of the aroma profile that you're going to get from On Guard, right? And then there's a few more minor components, like rosemary is in there, and that contributes some important components too. But really, you've got this amazing citrusy, spicy, wonderful kind of fall-like aroma. So On Guard is really this great way to help take care of your immune system and your family. So, we've got this whole line of amazing products. And of course, there's the oil to diffuse. But then there's also a roll-on that you can take with you that's great and convenient. That's what I like to throw into my purse, into my bag. And I'll use that on the go. I'll put it on the back of my kids' hands and encourage them to just smell it and to enjoy that aroma and to have those protective qualities right anywhere that we go. So that's something that I like to take with me.
The On Guard laundry detergent is ultra concentrated that utilizes the On Guard blend to target and lift stains to keep your clothes looking and smelling fresh and new.
I like to think of me and my kids sometimes as walking human diffusers, right? You put the oil on, you put the laundry detergent on your clothes. The warmth of our bodies causes this to kind of create this bubble around us almost, where we're giving off this essential oil smell. And it's kind of neat. It's like this little bubble of On Guard that we create around us by using these products. So we love the laundry detergent. And I've got 6 kids at home, and a dog and 2 bunnies and a hedgehog and a turtle. And we have a zoo in our house. So it is really important for me to be able to have our clothes clean and our surfaces clean. And so the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate is wonderful for being able to use on the surfaces of my homes for all these pets and kids and things like that we're trying to keep clean.
The On Guard Cleaner Concentrate is used daily to keep surfaces free from unwanted problems. In it are plant-based derivatives that provide a non-toxic and biodegradable way to clean and eliminate odors. It is safe for everyone, including the environment.
And the foaming hand wash, right? We've got so many grubby little hands. I love this foaming hand wash. And this is actually what we have in our bathrooms at work too. So I do use On Guard foaming hand wash so much, and I absolutely love it.
It foams nicely and cleans hands while providing that invigorating aroma of essential oils that leaves your hands smelling fresh and citrus clean.
It takes care of my hands and it has a wonderful aroma. So if you aren't familiar with some of the other products in the On Guard line, this is your chance. They are an amazing addition to both a healthy body and a healthy environment.
One of the challenges of being a medical professional is how many times I wash my hands throughout the day. This often leaves my hands dry and cracking. Well, now I have a new solution. The On Guard Purifying Mist purifies hands with its cleansing effect on the skin through an extremely fine, quick-drying mist. The beauty of this mist is that it is infused with a natural apple extract. The moisturizing formula will not dry out my skin and leaves my hands feeling soft and smooth.
I remember one time my family and I were walking through the airport. I don't remember what airport it was, but I remember just feeling just icky. Like there were people and germs all around me. And I'm not a germaphobe necessarily, but I just remember feeling, I just feel kind of unprotected right now. We were going to have dinner at this airport. And before my kids sat down or touched anything, I took my little bottle of On Guard spray. That's all I had with me. And I just sprayed the entire table and all the chairs, and I wiped them down. And my kids are like, oh my gosh, we're so embarrassed. But I'll tell you what, the people around us, I could see them going, and they would smell and they would look over and they could smell the On Guard and they were curious. And I can't remember, but someone may have even asked me about it and I showed them that product. It caught some attention, I can tell you that. It freshened up the whole area around us and I felt so much better having dinner in that airport because I knew that we had now a clean place to eat. So I'm just telling you, you carry around that On Guard spray, you're gonna have your own stories to tell because it's a fantastic product.
The convenient mist application is perfect for traveling, school, work, and on-the-go families. We always have several of these when we're leaving on vacation as a family. Airplanes, restaurants, and riding public transportation always is a prompt to clean our hands with this product.
I use it on grubby little hands like you wouldn't believe every single day. So we love that one very much. And the whitening toothpaste. Yeah, don't forget about that. Our mouths are an important microbiome. I don't know if you think about that, but this is a whole different we have a whole bunch of different kinds of microbes in our mouth than we have anywhere else in our body. So it's going to be really important to keep that area of our body clean and keep anything in there from starting to cause problems with us. It's been shown that infections in your mouth, in your gums, can actually affect your heart. They can cause other kinds of chronic diseases.
This fluoride-free toothpaste combines the protective benefits of On Guard Blend with other ingredients to help maintain the integrity of the teeth and brighten your smile. One try and you will be convinced.
The health of your mouth is critical, and people may not know that, but keep that in mind, that the On Guard toothpaste is one way, a very easy way, since hopefully we're just brushing our teeth normally every day anyway. It's a very easy way to make sure that this area of our bodies that we maybe don't think about very much stays clean and healthy. So all these products work together synergistically, right? They've all got this On Guard oil blend in them. They are filling in gaps in our daily life, washing, cleaning our homes, doing our laundry. We do these things anyway. So why not do them with a product that has this immune boost to it? It's like we're replacing just normal synthetic kinds of products with something that is amazing, right? It not only has the aromatic capability to smell great, but it has that little bit of extra boost for your body and your family and your home. So I tell you what, this time of year and really all year round, On Guard is the way to go for this wonderful environment for you to surround yourself with. So keep that in mind. And let's think a little bit outside the box as well. On Guard is really kind of the go-to, and that's the one that we always want to have on hand. But there are so many other essential oils that you can experience and experiment with. Right? I'm a scientist at heart, and so I love to experiment with different oils to see, does my family like the way that smells? Can I use it? Sometimes I'll use them in cooking or in different recipes. My daughters and I like to make do-it-yourself kinds of things, lotions and lip balms and things like that, bath salts. So it is so much fun. If you haven't really gotten into that either, essential oils are an amazing way to be able to make your own products naturally, rather than having to depend on some products that are just filled with synthetic chemicals. This is where you might get to branch out and experiment with stuff. Now, in thinking about that in terms of immune support and autumn, ways that you can enjoy the autumn and support yourself.
Some single products that come to mind during this time of year are oregano, basil, and thyme. Oregano has been shown to support our immune system and help create a robust defense against seasonal challenges. This can be used internally in a capsule, aromatically, or topically, but we need to remember that this is a hot oil and should be applied only if diluted.
Oregano and thyme, they actually share some chemistry. I don't know if you know that, but if you smell them kind of side by side, you're going to smell some similarities of them. They both have two components called carvacrol and thymol. Thymol makes sense, right? That's in the thyme primarily, but it also is in oregano. And carvacrol is primarily in the oregano, but a little bit in the thyme also. So you can smell this crossover when you smell them side by side. Now, these two chemical components, they are extremely powerful when it comes to having a clean environment and a clean home and a healthy immune system. They are excellent at helping to, kind of maintain that health within ourselves and within our environment. And the way that they do that is through their chemistry. The carvacrol and the thymol are very, very powerful. Now, you might have experienced this. We've had stories of people who weren't very experienced yet with essential oils, who would just kind of dump oregano straight into their mouths. I don't do that personally. It's pretty strong. If you are going to use it and you're curious about oregano and thyme especially, these are great to use with a carrier oil. Even when I put them into a veggie cap to take them, or I put them on my skin, this is one you'll want to use with a carrier oil, and that doesn't dilute them. You know, some people think if I put them with a carrier oil, I'm making them less powerful. That's not the case, actually. All you're doing is helping your skin be protected from irritation and helping your body be able to absorb them better when they're inside. So don't be afraid to use very, very strong oils, and don't be afraid to use them with a carrier oil like fractionated coconut oil or olive oil, whatever you've got on hand. That actually helps them be able to be used more safely and more effectively without some irritation that can come, because they are very powerful. So keep that in mind. Now, basil, the other one that we mentioned.
Basil oil has been used in our home for many years. When our children were young and had ear discomfort, we would put basil in front of the ear and behind. This would alleviate their discomfort and allow them to return to play or sleep better at night.
I love basil. I've got basil plants growing in my house. I love to use my basil plants in my cooking. And the basil essential oil is a wonderful addition, not only for a flavoring agent, but this is one that I like to use for my kids when they might have a little bit of kind of an extra challenge. They might just feel kind of run down. And because basil it's powerful but gentle, if that makes sense. It's a very powerful essential oil, but it does tend to be fairly gentle on the skin. I can use it with my kids, and I still use a carrier oil, but this is one that they like the aroma of. It's very green and herbal, different than oregano and thyme. But this is a great one to use if, like, I will use it for my kids if they are having a hard time sleeping at night, because maybe they're a little bit wound up. Maybe they're a little bit, the stress of the day has just gotten to them. Basil is very high in a component called linalool. And this, interestingly enough, is also one of the main components of lavender. So it kind of makes sense that basil and lavender kind of have some crossover in the ways that they're able to help us feel a little bit better, a little bit more calm and grounded. And so, yeah, if you know someone who doesn't necessarily like the aroma of lavender, basil is also a good one to use in that way. And it's excellent to add into your cleaning routine if you're out of On Guard. If you can make your own surface sprays with any essential oils. I'll just put them in some water, or maybe add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, shake it up with the oil, spray it on the surface. It's great. So keep your mind open to new essential oils to try in various ways. And especially when it comes to your environment and your body, there are so many opportunities that doTERRA can offer. And we're going to talk about a few more as we go through this presentation, because this, I don't know, for me, this is kind of a time of year when I do get a little bit reflective. I think back on the year, and I like to be a little bit adventurous, because I know that I'm going to be inside the house a lot as the temperature changes and fall is coming and the holidays are coming. So if you feel that adventurous feeling, if you feel like I'm going to branch out a little bit, we're going to have some ideas for you through this presentation.
So we have just talked about protecting during this time of year. But what about strengthening? Strengthening our bodies is much like building muscle. However, this strengthening starts with what we put inside our bodies. Making good choices in what we consume is so important.
Right, we mentioned that we want a holistic approach to our health. We want to be able to approach our health from many different perspectives. Strengthening our bodies is one of these. Now, there's a couple ways to think about strengthening. Most of us, when we hear that word, we think about muscles, we think about lifting weights, and we think about exercising. And that is an important aspect of it. But I propose to you that what we put inside our bodies is also a very important aspect of how we strengthen it. And, that makes sense because Our muscles can only grow if we give them the tools to do so. Our organs can only be healthy and strong if we give them the tools to do so. So let's think about some of those tools and talk about ways, very simple ways, that you can strengthen yourself, strengthen your immune system in your body. So one of my favorite ways, and I would say one of the easiest and most logical ways to start strengthening yourself, is with your digestive system. Now, why do I say that? We eat every day, hopefully. It is something that, as a human being, we need to take in energy in the form of food in order to survive and grow. Now, think about that process. Again, this is something we don't really keep in mind, even though we do it every day. But we have to take in that food. We have to break down that food. We have to absorb that food, and we have to eliminate the waste. That is an enormous process. It's very important. Now, what happens if there are inefficiencies or problems with that process somewhere along the way? Any of those major steps, with the breaking down, with the absorbing, with the metabolizing, with the eliminating. If we have issues, we're going to be inefficient in the ways that we're able to use that energy then. We might feel tired or run down, and we might not be able to build our muscles or grow, or other systems might suffer too. Our immune system, our mental systems, our sleep. Really, our food and our digestive system is at the heart of a lot of things. Now, not only is it key because of the necessity that we have of, needing to break down that energy, but consider this: our gut, our digestive system, is actually tied very closely with the health of our brain and our mental state. Many of our neurotransmitters are actually produced down in our gut. Did you know that? The neurotransmitters, those are the chemicals that are up in our brains that are helping our brains function, that are in charge of mood and memory and a lot of things in that way. So it makes sense. If we have issues with our gut, we're going to have issues with our brain. It's something called the gut-brain axis, or the gut-brain connection. So the health of the gut it's hard to overstate just how important it is. So I want to talk about that for just a minute and some ways that you can support the health of your gut. Now, of course, doTERRA has some amazing products in this way too. And not only products, but I love that doTERRA talks about holistic ways of thinking about using these products as part of your lifestyle, right? It doesn't do much good to have a product that sits on your shelf and that doesn't get used, or that doesn't get used in the right way. So let me tell you about 3 of our very favorite products for just overall kind of gut health, and then 1 product that we use to kind of enhance that gut health. Okay, are you with me? So GX Assist.
GX Assist is a combination of CPTG, certified pure, tested grade, essential oils, and caprylic acid. GX Assist is not recommended as an everyday product. It was formulated to be used for 10 days, then followed by 10 days of PB Assist. Think of cleaning out the house and then putting things in the house to keep it clean. That's what we're doing behind using the GX Assist for 10 days, then restoring the normal flora using the PB Assist. This can be done every 3 months or so to keep the system strong.
Now, this is a very powerful product that is used to kind of help not clean out the gut, because that sounds very violent. It's used kind of more to help get back to a level of calm, of like homeostasis. Well, let me tell you how that works for me. Now, it may be different for other people, but for me, GX Assist is what I use when I know that something is out of whack. And you can feel it, you can tell. It's kind of my way of pushing the reset button. For me, that's what GX Assist does. This is a very powerful, it's a capsule. It's a very powerful blend of essential oils that are intended to help clear out the bad stuff to make way for kind of a reset, a reseating. So GX Assist, this isn't really intended to be an every single day kind of product. This is intended to be an occasional, let's wipe the slate again and get back to a better place. So that's how you'd want to use GX Assist, followed by the second product, which is PB Assist. Now PB, I believe stands for probiotic, at least that's how I think of it. Probiotics, these are positive bacteria, important bacteria that we need in our gut. And when we take a probiotic, we are kind of then reseeding that gut. So I one time when I was presenting on GX Assist and PB Assist, I showed a picture of a yard that was just covered with weeds and dandelions. And sometimes that's how I feel that my guts are. The grass is kind of dying because the weeds are taking over. So I'll take GX Assist and it's like, yanking up those weeds. Let's just get rid of the weeds. We don't want to hurt, the good that's there. We don't want to hurt the grass. We want to get rid of the weeds. But then we have to put something in their place. If we just leave big holes in our yard, more weeds take over, right? We have to reseed. That's what I think of PB Assist doing. I'm adding that bacteria, a healthy bacteria, back into my yard. I'm letting the grass grow again into a beautiful, lush grass that's healthy once more.
Probiotics, meaning for life, has been consumed for thousands of years. Many cultures have a food source of probiotics, which can be found in sauerkraut, sourdough, and my favorite, dark chocolate. PB Assist is a proprietary formula of prebiotic fiber and 6 strains of probiotic microorganisms in a unique double-layer vegetable capsule. This capsule allows the microorganisms to be released in the small intestine rather than the stomach, where the acid will kill a large percentage of those beneficial bacteria. PB Assist Junior is a powdered probiotic supplement designed for children or adults who have trouble swallowing capsules. These probiotics have been blended into a delicious powder that can be poured directly into the mouth for a fun and tasty way to integrate probiotics into anyone's daily routine. I know that sometimes we hear of a product that is pitched as delicious and good for you, and we think that it can't be both. And often it isn't. However, in this case, it really is true. I take the PB Assist, but on occasion when I'm getting the tubes of PB Assist Junior out for my 2 youngest children, I'll sneak one as well. And we do have to limit the kids to just 1 a day, as they would take several a day if we would let them. Over the years of practicing medicine, there has been more and more evidence that the health of our gut is connected to the health of so many other systems. In addition to that news, we are finding how many things can affect the normal flora of our gastrointestinal system. Stress, fast food, viruses, and the list goes on and on. As I've studied this unfolding science, I've started taking probiotics every day to keep my system strong and able to defend against those challenges.
Now, PB Assist, this is something that you can take and should take every day. Now, back in the olden times of humans, we didn't really need probiotics in the same way because we had so many more microbes on our food and in our food. A lot of times we're eating packaged food, we're eating food that isn't, quite as healthy as our ancestors maybe got, maybe not quite as many fruits and vegetables. Our diet plays a big part in the health of our gut. So we can help that along with products like PB Assist and Terrazyme and some of the other things that doTERRA offers. This is a way that we can keep those weeds from taking over, ideally. We keep the grass healthy by keeping the healthy bacteria there all the time. So GX Assist, PB Assist, fantastic for the health of the gut. And I tell you what, my own personal journey has been it's been a big struggle for me personally with these digestive things. And since finding doTERRA, and I've been with doTERRA pretty much since the beginning, but since these products came along, it has been night and day. I can't even tell you. And the difference that I've seen in my mental state, the health of my skin and my hair and my energy, all these things are dependent upon how our gut and our digestive system is doing. So I can stand here and just tell you that I am a living witness of how amazing these products are. And I hope if you haven't had a chance to try them, that you do get a chance to try them, because they have been very life-changing for me and for my family. Okay, so I promised you some products that were going to help with the health of your gut, and then kind of a supercharge product that was going to enhance all these things. Any guesses what that is? I'll give you a hint. It starts with DDR. That kind of gives it away, right? It's DDR Prime. Now, I think if you've ever talked to Dr. Hill or heard him talk, this is one of his favorite products too, and it has since become one of mine. I think this is a product that people don't understand and probably don't use as much as they could. This product is specifically formulated to encourage the health of cells from inside out. This is one that is intended to go and pretty much support all of like our cellular processes and the things that are always running in the background. Now, I'm a biochemist, and so I've got on my wall posters of all kinds of biochemical reactions. And I sit there sometimes, I'm on my lunch break, I'm just sitting and relaxing, not very often, but sometimes I'm looking at these processes and it blows me away, even all the things that are going on every second of every day. Our cells are processing and, chemical signals are flying back and forth. So many of these processes need support. We need to be able to give them our best shot so that the cells work the way that they should. And when the cells work the way they should, then organs work the way they should. And when the organs work the way they should, then our systems work the way they should, and then we work the way we should. So really it all starts clear down at the most basic level of the cell. And that's where DDR Prime comes in. This is a product that is intended to support very basic functions, healthy functions of a healthy cell.
DNA is the code within our cells that creates who we are, how we look, and how our system works. It codes for proteins, enzymes, receptors, hormones, cellular activity, and on and on. It is the building block of all life. It is so important that we strengthen our cells against any damage that may happen to this building block. One way this can be done is by decreasing the toxins we put into our bodies. Another way may be by decreasing prolonged periods of time in the sun without protection. DDR Prime includes frankincense, wild orange, litsea, thyme, clove, summer savory, nioli, and lemongrass essential oils. DDR Prime soft gels are easy to swallow and provide an easy and convenient method for consuming DDR Prime essential oil blend anytime, anywhere.
This is one, so if you look at the combination of the oils that are in here, so frankincense, of course, that's a powerhouse just right there. Wild orange, litsea, thyme and clove, we talked about those earlier by themselves. Summer savory, you might not be as familiar with that one. It's got a chemistry kind of similar to oregano. So it's a powerhouse right there. Niali, that one's related to tea tree. So it's got a chemistry kind of similar to that. And lemongrass. So you kind of hear this list of oils and you think, wow, how do they formulate that? Well, it turns out that as with most products, we looked through the literature and we looked at research that had been done on essential oils specifically for cellular support and came up with this blend. And then we started to hear stories coming back of people using DDR Prime and having absolutely amazing results with their health. We've had people, that tell us it's been years since I've gotten sick. It's been, I've had this problem or this problem, and I'm so much better now. Things are working so much better in my life. It's hard to quantify, right? Because we're hearing a lot of stories of how amazingly this works. And I'll be honest, we don't always understand the synergy of essential oils, we don't always understand how they can work together so powerfully, but we see that they do. Now, a very important landmark study that we did with DDR Prime back in 2014 and 15, so this is quite a while ago. The study was looking at those cellular processes that we just talked about. And when I say processes, I mean the building of proteins inside the cell and the processing of these proteins and the moving of them from one cell to the other and sending messages and all the things that are happening on a level, that we rarely think about, but that's absolutely critical. So in this study, we wanted to see, what are those processes? How were they supported by DDR Prime? And what we found, so we only looked at about 200 of these processes, which sounds like a lot, but when you consider that there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of processes, it was a small sampling, but still, it was a very important study. Every single one of those processes, those 200, was affected by DDR Prime. And what we found was that the cells, it's like they came alive. They were talking more to their neighbors. They were, upregulating some of the ways that they were building their proteins and processing their proteins. It was hard to describe scientifically what we were seeing, but really it came down to the cells kind of were more alive. They functioned better. So all that to say, DDR Prime is one of my absolute favorites. I have got some amazing stories of my own of using that. And I think it's one of those essential oil blends that is just kind of a secret sauce that if you haven't tried it, you should, because it's pretty neat and it can do some amazing things for just supercharging pretty much everything else in your healthy routine. So it's one to keep in mind and think about.
The word holistic is an adjective, meaning dealing with or treating the whole of something or someone and not just the part. So when we think about well-being, we need to consider all parts that contribute to wellness. This may be getting restful sleep, consuming healthy foods, getting regular and adequate exercise, and eliminating or handling stress in a healthy way. So what does it mean to be healthy or well? Everyone will answer this question a little differently. We all have different paths to wellness and unique tools we use to help keep us balanced. The doTERRA wellness chart displays a holistic approach to well-being, which combines healthy lifestyle behaviors and proper medical care.
Let's go back to that idea of a holistic lifestyle. What does that mean again? So we've mentioned it a few times going throughout this presentation. Holistic meaning the whole picture, not just one piece, not just one part. And why is it important to think about ourselves and our health holistically? Well, it's probably because every bit of us influences something else. We talked about the connection of the gut and the brain. We could talk about the connection of the gut and the skin. We could talk about the connection of anything we do pretty much with anything else. So sleep will affect digestion. Digestion will affect sleep. All of those things will affect our mental health. It all is connected. So we have to think about the whole picture. Now, our well-being really depends on our ability to kind of keep everything in balance. It's this idea called homeostasis. And I love thinking about this concept of homeostasis, right? I sometimes will think about it like a thermostat. If you've got a thermostat in your house, you want your temperature to be comfortable. Thermostat gets too high, you're hot. Thermostat gets too cold, you're freezing. You want to try and keep it exactly somewhere comfortable for you. But does that mean it stays the same year round? For some people it does. But in my house, sometimes we have to crank it up a little bit if it's extra cold outside. Sometimes we have to turn it down a little bit if it gets too hot. And that's a process of constantly adjusting that our bodies do so well. That is this idea of homeostasis and of holistic health, right? So think about all the things that you do each day. We have to eat, we sleep, we eliminate waste, we clean, we have, all these things that we're doing, but then we have all these pressures upon us too. We have stress, we have our diet, we have our external environment. How do we balance all these things together? Okay, the great news is, again, doTERRA has us covered. We've got all kinds of product that can go about supporting us holistically. And the even better news is these are very easy to integrate into a healthy lifestyle. So here's a very simple way to think about kind of a holistic picture of ourselves. And I love that doTERRA does this. And I think about this a lot. And I've talked about it to my kids and to my friends and everyone I can think of. Our lifestyle really does make up who we are, clear down on the level of our DNA. We are able to affect what proteins are expressed from our DNA. Did you know that? This new science called epigenetics allows us to respond to our environment by changing the way that our DNA is expressed. That is crazy, right? I mean, scientists have always known that it's who we are is part nature in our DNA and part nurture, but they didn't understand that nurture part. We do now. Epigenetics. Let's talk about that a little bit more in terms of what does that mean for you? Like how do the things you do affect the person and the physical being that you become? Okay, so the lifestyle chart or the lifestyle pyramid. This is genius. And I love to teach this because it's very simple and visual, but it is absolutely, logical and easy to understand. In this chart, it basically, you're building on a firm foundation, and it's part lifestyle and then part healthcare when needed. So you start out on that bottom level with eating right, with nourishing your body, not just eating, but nourishing. You want to make sure that what you put into your body is fuel, and what you put into your body is supporting the health of your gut and supporting the health of your brain and all your body systems. We want to make sure that what we're putting into our bodies is positively affecting those epigenetics that we talked about, right?
Our foundation begins with eating right and exercise. So many disease processes begin with challenges in these two areas.
Exercise. Bodies are made to move. Our joints, our muscles, everything functions better when we have that exercise. And, ideally, not just one intense, 30-minute session a day, although that's good too, but moving around, getting up and moving, dancing, walking, things that are so natural for us to do. These are healthy. These are good. They affect more than just our muscles and more than just, how we look and our clothing size. They affect our well-being, clear down at the most basic levels. Arresting and managing stress is on top of that. Now, this is one, again, we may not think about it as much as we need to. Every single day, we are under stresses that our ancestors, our forebears couldn't even imagine. And we may not have defenses against. We are evolving so quickly. If you think of our society, we have had so many technological advances and so many different kinds of stress in our lives. If we don't have this firmly in our minds every single day to rest and manage stress, it will build up to toxic levels in our bodies. And I don't just mean that metaphorically. The chemicals that build up in our bodies because of stress can destroy us. So we're going to talk about, for each of these levels of the chart, we're going to talk about tools that we have and ways that we can combat any issues that we might run up against. Okay, next up on the chart, reducing toxic load. Now, again, this is one we need to keep forefront in the mind, because so many things that we're exposed to now in the course of a daily, our daily life, our grandparents would not have been exposed to, and their grandparents would not have been exposed to. So our bodies need to have ways to deal with this toxic load, and we can support it in that. That's the great news. Again, we'll talk about ways to do that, easy ways, easy swaps to make in your life that are great. So that is what we can do. Those are 4 very foundational things that we can do to help our bodies every single day. And then sometimes, if needed, those top 2 rungs of the lifestyle chart, informed self-care. This is what we can do to support our health when needed if we're having particular challenges, and proactive health care, when we need to go see a professional and get some additional support. But you can see that the bulk of that chart are things that we can do to support a healthy life before anything bad needs to happen.
Think of this as a building. If we do not have a good foundation to build up, then no matter what we build on top, it's not going to stand very well. Several years ago, my neighbor was building a shed and chicken coop on his property. He started with a foundation, but he didn't measure well. He then started putting up walls and started to see a few problems. They didn't exactly join at 90-degree angles. Finally, putting on the roof, it was discovered that not only were the walls not squared, but they were not level either. Some of the roof touched the top of the walls, and in other places, it was several inches lower. It was actually impossible to put the roof on. No matter how he pressured, nailed, or clamped down the roof, he could not get it on. So the question was, why did this happen? As it turns out, the small issues in the foundation were magnified as we built up from the unmeasured foundation. By the time he got to the top, it became nearly impossible to put the roof on the building. This is a great example of why we must address our nutrition and exercise before moving up the wellness chart. Hippocrates said this: before you can heal someone, ask him if he's willing to give up the things that make him sick. Often the cause of the illness has something to do with the foundation of nutrition and exercise. Once we have the foundation built, then we can put some walls, which would be rest and managed stress, and then reducing toxic load. These are best built upon that solid foundation. And finally, the roof of our building that fits best on a solid foundation and walls is informed self-care, and then proactive health care. Informed self-care indicates that we will learn for ourselves treatments for the issues that we're facing. When we need extra help is when we might access proactive health care, seeing a trusted physician to counsel us on what can be done. A good physician asks about the foundation and the walls of the house before talking about medication management for specific issues.
So starting at the bottom of the pyramid, eating right. This is our foundation of wellness. Okay, now that we've had that overview, let's go into some specifics.
While eating right can mean different things to different people, there are some basic principles that we can all agree on. Number 1, choosing whole foods that are plant-based has lots of research indicating that it's more supportive of health than other choices. In our home, we try to eat out of our garden and orchard in season, and then can or bottle much of the produce to last us through winter months when fresh fruit and vegetables are not as available.
Being mindful. I am terrible at this. I have to not be a hypocrite and say that this is something that I'm working on. Being mindful when you eat is so important, because there have been times, many times too many, where I'm busy at work, I'm typing away, I'm doing all my things, and I realize it's time to have some food, and so I will just grab it and I will not even look as it's going in my mouth. I'll get to the end of eating something and not realize I've eaten it, or it certainly didn't give me any sort of satisfaction. I'm terrible at that, so I am working on that. I'll make a goal to work on that if you work on that with me. Mindfulness allows our body to experience the food. It allows us to connect with it, which sounds kind of strange, but I think, there is some important energy that's involved when we do put food into our bodies. Do we feel the texture? Do we taste it and smell it? Do we appreciate the colors and, the beauty? A plant grew that for us, or, an animal made that for us. Do we appreciate that? I think that there is a lot of positive energy that can be generated when we take the time to be mindful.
Number 2, limiting refined sugar not only helps us decrease our inflammatory load, but also reduces our risk for certain types of cancers.
And then, some very basic things that you've probably heard about all of your life. refined foods to, use them as occasional enjoyment if you like, but to limit them when possible.
Number 3, switch to complex carbohydrates. This can help add fiber to our diet. A complex carbohydrate are those with less refinement to them. Whole grain breads and pastas are a great way to get a more complex carbohydrate. The fiber in our diets not only keeps the sugars from spiking in the blood, but also decreases our risk of colon cancer. Number 4, focus on healthy fats.
And complex carbs rather than simple carbs and saturated fats or trans fats.
Healthy fats are those that have a higher omega-3 content. Avocados are a healthy fat. Butter from grass-fed cows have some healthy fats. Olive oil is another great example of a healthy fat. And number 5, focus on gut health.
Foods that are supportive of that, and doTERRA products that are supportive of that. We can do so much toward helping our bodies thrive, not just survive, but to thrive based on what we put in to our bodies.
Since graduating from medical school in 2001, there has been so much research focusing on how our gut health affects so many other systems. For instance, around 90% of our serotonin is produced in our GI tract. If this system is not healthy, we are at higher risk for depression. No matter how complete our diet seems, most of us are still missing some key vitamins and minerals. These deficiencies can lead to health problems over time.
Well, saying that, we of course cannot forget about the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack. Right? This is intended to be part of that foundational nutrition.
Lifelong vitality. This powerful collection of daily supplements quickly became one of doTERRA's most popular line of products. The core products of the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack, XE Omega, Microplex VMZ, and Alpha CRS, are designed to help you on your journey to improve vitality and wellness. With essential nutrients, metabolism benefits, and powerful antioxidants, these supplements work together to promote energy, health, and lifelong vitality.
Now, you might be thinking, well, if I'm getting a healthy diet and I'm having lots of great variety and I'm doing all those things that you just said in the previous slide, why do I need lifelong vitality? Haven't I taken care of everything? The truth is, a very healthy diet gets you a long way and does a lot of good things. But most of us have at least some nutritional gaps. And the fault's not necessarily ours. You can have the best diet in the whole world. But because sometimes the foods themselves might be grown in soil that's somewhat depleted of nutrients, or the way that they were handled might have depleted them of some of their nutrients, we sometimes get gaps, even with a very healthy diet. So that's where a product like Lifelong Vitality comes in. It is intended to supplement. So the true sense of the word supplement, not to replace a healthy diet, but to fill it in, to fill in those gaps. And these are things like the trace minerals that are so important in some of our cellular processes. And these are the things like the fatty acids that even when we eat healthy fats, sometimes we're a little bit deficient in the right kinds of fatty acids for our brains. That's in the Z omega. The Microplex has those trace minerals we just talked about, the vitamins that are so important as cofactors in producing the proteins that our cells need so badly. And then the Alpha CRS, this is where we're going to get antioxidants to support helping to clean out toxins of our bodies. All these three together are just an amazing powerhouse. So this, along with the DDR Prime, that was kind of one of my first experiences with doTERRA supplements, the Lifelong Vitality it's changed me. There's no other way to say it. It has done things for my health that I didn't even know were possible, right? Some things that I had struggled with for years, for decades even, suddenly weren't an issue anymore for me, which I found absolutely stunning. So this is one of those. And, I love that doTERRA has this kind of guarantee that they will let people try this supplement for 30 days and watch the change start to happen in themselves.
I will challenge you that if you have not tried LLV, Try it for 30 days. Keep track of how you're feeling and specifically the energy that you have.
Now that to me is a testament of how powerful this supplement is, and that we know there are going to be some positive changes in your life when you take this. So, this is one of those things where if you're talking to someone and they're curious about how to support their health, this is a great option to offer them because they will see some good things happening. And that is a fantastic starting point for a lot of people. That's the beginning of their journey, is they come looking for some solutions, and this is one of them. So keep that in mind. Lifelong vitality is very foundational to this healthy lifestyle that we're talking about. Now, the dosing on the label, it talks about how to dose this and how to take this. It does kind of depend on your body size. Smaller people don't need to take as much as larger people do.
If you're a small individual, less than 50 kilograms, taking 1 tablet of each twice daily is the recommended dosage. If you're medium to large, greater than 50 kilograms, take 2 capsules of each twice daily.
So do kind of pay attention to that. And when people have asked me, and for me myself, when I started, I would just do the smaller dose, like the half dose in the morning and in the night with my meals. And then, building up to the larger dose for after my body had been accustomed to it. And sometimes I found that just even the smaller dose was fine. And my husband, who's a lot bigger than me in body size, that he takes the normal dose to the larger dose. So feel it out, feel how it's going for you, and use that as a way to kind of experience different things in your health. I'm inviting you to be a scientist too, because you get to feel what's going on inside your body. And if you pay attention, you'll notice some things maybe that are new for you. You might notice that your skin feels different, or that you are sleeping better, or that your digestion is better, that things are more regular for you. Pay attention to things like that. And when you're talking to people about using lifelong vitality, encourage them to pay attention to it too. Encourage them to be mindful, not only about what they're putting in their bodies, but about how their body is responding to some of these products and ways that we're supporting it.
So let's move from nutrition to exercise. The human body is engineered to move, and there are endless benefits that come from regular exercise. From boosting energy and improving mood to maintaining a desirable quality of life through old age, the benefits of regular exercise are both physiological and psychological.
Now, this, again, the movement of our bodies, the encouragement of our bodies to be healthy, to have lean muscle, to have our hearts be stronger, all of these things are playing into a healthy body overall.
There is a mountain of research supporting the fact that exercise helps with depression and anxiety. It makes sense, doesn't it? As we move our bodies, our brain is filled with chemicals that lift us and help us feel better. This isn't always easy.
Now, quality of life is going to be so dependent on, well, all of the things that we're talking about, but really this nutrition and exercise can play a huge role in how we age, and in our morbidity, meaning how healthy we are as we're getting older.
Years ago, I had a patient with some serious health problems, and some of those were mental health. Her weight was the main problem inhibiting her from movement. She could only go from her bedroom to the living room to lay on the couch most of the day, and then back to the bedroom at night. She came to me, and as we were discussing her situation, she was very tired of her life. There was no fulfillment. We decided to set some goals together, and one of those goals was a movement goal. She was very scared and did not think she could do any movement at all. We started with her moving from the living room couch to her mailbox every day. This was extremely hard for her. It caused her pain, but to her credit, she went through with it. The following month, we set a goal of not only walking to the mailbox once a day, but walking to the edge of her property and back. This doubled her distance every day, and for the first 2 weeks, it was very hard, but she did it. Every month she would come back and she would set a new goal. Eventually she was able to walk to the end of her street. By the following year, she was able to walk around the block, and finally, years later, she was able to walk about 3 miles a day. Not only did her physical health improve, but her mental health concerns completely resolved. So with increased movement comes increased risk of some challenges with discomfort.
Now, I don't know about you, but as I get now older into my 40s, I start to think, I'm not as young as I used to be. And I should probably, keep in mind that I'm not a spring chicken and I want to do everything that I can to enjoy these years, to have a wonderful life and be able to have the energy to contribute what I know I can. So nutrition and exercise, huge. And doTERRA's products to support these things are phenomenal. Let's talk about Deep Blue for just a minute.
Each product in the Deep Blue range has been specifically formulated to provide soothing, cooling comfort to the body.
For a lot of people, the lifelong vitality that we just talked about is their kind of gateway to doTERRA. For a lot of other people, this product, Deep Blue, is their gateway to doTERRA. Now, why do I say that? This product is, I think is so great for people to experience because it is immediate. You put it on and you have an aromatic experience, but you feel it too. Now, this is the case with kind of oils in general, I guess, but especially with Deep Blue because it's got the oils that interact with particular receptors in your skin. It's your cold receptors, actually. And the menthol that's in there will interact with those cold receptors and you get this immediate cooling sensation. It is marvelous.
A variety of convenient application options make it easy to enjoy the original Deep Blue Soothing Blend.
So this is a great rub and essential oil blend that you can put on muscles and on joints and anywhere that is feeling, I'll get done with a workout and I will think, okay, I need some Deep Blue. Or sometimes the next morning, that's what I'm feeling. And it is an immediate sensation. It's very, it feels so good. So this is a great way to talk to people and let them have some experiential evidence very quickly about, these amazing doTERRA products and how they're working. What I love too about doTERRA's line of products around exercise and health that way, we have these performance advocates. I don't know if you've seen them in some of the social media and on conventions, things like this. These are athletes who are at the top of their game, Olympic athletes and world class. And they're talking about using Deep Blue in their, training. They'll get done with a hard workout and I can't even imagine, I'll just have a regular workout. I'll go running or, get on my elliptical or something and I'll feel it. So I can't even imagine these Olympic athletes, but they're using the same thing that I'm using, Deep Blue. And so that gives me a lot of confidence, right? That tells me we're doing something right if these world-class athletes are using doTERRA products to support them in their sport. Now, along with the Deep Blue, there are some fantastic oils to support a healthy and very pleasant workout.
So to nurture your body and to support your practice of exercise, we turn to a couple of products.
So let me mention a few to you. Copaiba. This one, actually, I love to put Copaiba with my Deep Blue. So I'll put a little bit of Deep Blue rub in my hand. I'll put a couple drops of Copaiba with it, mix it around with my finger. Oh, and it just goes right on.
Copaiba is the perfect essential oil for a soothing massage after exercising. Combine Copaiba with fractionated coconut oil and massage on the targeted muscle areas.
That one I love to put on my back at night, on my legs after I go running. Oh, it's great. Now, Copaiba This is one of the essential oils that I like to think about. We talked about that term homeostasis, right? The keeping of everything kind of on an even keel. Copaiba is the oil that I always think about in my mind when I'm talking about homeostasis. A lot of the oils do this, but copaiba for some reason is my favorite one to think about. The research has shown that copaiba is its main constituent is beta-caryophyllene, which is a sesquiterpene. Now, beta-caryophyllene interacts with a particular kind of receptor on our cells. It's called a CB2 receptor. Now, the reason why I love copaiba for this idea of kind of homeostasis and getting everything reset, especially like after a workout when everything gets really excited, the CB2 receptor is found throughout your body. So on your organs and on your skin and on your lungs and places like that. This is a fantastic essential oil for helping your body to kind of reset, I guess, to be present in the moment. It's very grounding. And this one is a fantastic soothing massage. So it really gives you that feeling of, okay, I am grounded, I'm back, you know. I love the high that exercise gives me, that endorphin rush. But then sometimes I need something to kind of, okay, now I'm back. I'm ready to go on with my day. Copaiba does that. So it's a great one. Add to your exercise routine. Now, the air blend. Think about the last time you did a hard workout. Maybe you went running or you went biking. What did your body need a lot of? I probably gave it away when I was talking about air. You breathe a lot when you exercise because your muscles are working hard and you're causing more metabolism to happen within your cells. And in order to do that, we need more oxygen. So we have to take in larger breaths of air to oxygenate our cells, right?
doTERRA Air is an amazing product. The cold weather can sometimes make exercising outdoors challenging. So rubbing doTERRA Air on your chest can help enliven the body, providing you with feelings of clear airways.
So it makes a lot of sense that we want to support that respiratory system. We want to support how we're getting air into our bodies and into our cells. Air is great for doing that. It's got this wonderful, uplifting, invigorating aroma. So this is an excellent one to rub just right on your chest. I will sometimes, if it's cold outside and I'm going outside to exercise, I'm kind of all bundled up. I don't put it on my chest because then I can't smell it. But I might actually just put it kind of right on my collar. Or sometimes I'll put it on my gloves and just as I'm going along, I'll just sometimes do one of those and smell it. It's fantastic, kind of keeps you moving, very invigorating too.
Nothing can replace a good night's sleep. Sleep is a critical factor in optimum health and wellness.
Okay, resting and managing stress is a tough one because we all need to have good sleep, and it's tempting to put sleep off because we've got a lot of stuff to do. And I do this. I know I do this too. So I sometimes think that I have to give presentations on things that I myself need to work on more, which is good. But the great news is, again, doTERRA's got you covered. Nothing can replace a good night of sleep. All of your other healthy lifestyle goals will be derailed if you don't support your body with sleep. Now, why is that? Sleep is the time that our body is healing and growing and dealing with the toxins. So no matter how hard you're trying in all the other areas, if you don't give your body time to do everything it needs to do, the downtime that it needs, and you're constantly, making it run, you will burn out. Your body will not be able to handle it. So keep in mind that sleep, like some of the things we're talking about, is absolutely foundational for a healthy life.
Countless physiological processes are influenced by sleep patterns, and sleeping has been scientifically linked to nearly every other facet of health, eating behaviors, physical fitness, and mental well-being. Did you know that if we do not sleep, that we cannot file away the things that happen throughout the day from short-term memory into long-term memory? Lack of sleep also leads to a buildup of a protein in the brain called beta amyloid that can lead to Alzheimer's disease. In fact, if you sleep only 6 hours or less at night, you have an increase of 30% of getting Alzheimer's disease as you age. Lack of sleep ages us faster. In fact, we can look and feel almost a decade older than we really are if we are not sleeping well. Lack of sleep reduces the effectiveness of your immune system, decreasing natural killer cells by almost 70%. And not sleeping increases your risk of certain cancers, including breast, prostate, and bowel cancers. Lastly, sleeping 6 hours or less each night increases your risk of heart attack by 200%. So let's talk about making your room a sanctuary for sleep.
And what are some ways we can support that? Very simple ways. We've got lavender. This is one of the most well-known essential oils around the entire world. And it is well known for supporting sleep and supporting those feelings of well-being and calm. So perfect for diffusion at night, by the bed, around the house.
Lavender is widely used to promote calm and relaxed feelings. Add a few drops of lavender to pillows or bedding to promote relaxation.
Or I'll sometimes I'll give my kids a massage on their hands at night. And, that's just a time that you can connect and reset. We process our day verbally with each other as I'm massaging their hands. And it's amazing, the combination of the aroma and the massage and the talking and the closeness. If you haven't tried that with your loved ones, or, even your own, a massage on your own hands, that aroma and that feeling of touch it's amazing. You might be surprised.
doTERRA Serenity is a peaceful blend of essential oils that promotes tranquility and relaxation. It combines cedarwood, hoe wood, and vetiver essential oils renowned for their ability to calm emotions.
Serenity, this is the blend. Of course, it features lavender, but it has a lot of other great things in there too. And this one, oh my goodness, it's my kids' favorite blend to diffuse at night. And so usually as I'm massaging their hands with lavender or with one of the other oils, this is what's diffusing in the background. And I can just see the tension melting from their faces. And my youngest daughter, she's just about to turn 9. So she's getting older now, but she still talks about Serenity because it was the very first thing she smelled when she was born. I had it diffusing in the hospital room when she was born. And she still talks about that. And every time she smells it now, it's almost like it goes into her very most primal mind and sets the tone for that calm. It is amazing to hear this little girl talk about how much she loves Serenity. So it's definitely a favorite in our house. Give that one a try or rediscover it if you haven't for a while. It's phenomenal.
We just talked about vetiver and the Serenity blend, but let's talk about it individually. Due to vetiver's calming, grounding effects, it's an ideal oil for use in massage therapy. It can also be used before bedtime to promote a soothing environment. As a matter of fact, I use vetiver every night while traveling. I put it on the bottom of my big toe and under my nose. This oil helps me get and maintain a restful night. Now, vetiver is a rather thick oil. It takes some time to come out. So tipping that bottle over and putting your whole hand around it to warm the oil will make it come out just a little bit faster.
Vetiver is amazing. This has this very grounding, spicy aroma. It will last for quite a while. So if you want something to kind of go through the night, but you don't want your diffuser to run all night, vetiver is a great way to do that because it's got these very, very heavy, large molecules that stick around for a long time. So this is a great one if you want a long-lasting scent to add to your pillowcase or your sheets or something like that. And that vetiver is amazing for relaxing and grounding. So excellent resting and managing stress tools that doTERRA has to offer.
Other tips for a good night's sleep are including something medicine is calling sleep hygiene. Maintain regularity, same bedtime, a same wake-up time. This helps you establish a sleep pattern that will help getting to sleep much easier. Even if you've had a late night, getting up at that set time in the morning is very helpful. Having more complete darkness in your room, even dimming down the lights a half hour before bed, avoiding blue light devices such as phones, TVs, and tablets can be helpful. These lights trick your brain into thinking that it's daylight, which lead to your night of sleep being much less beneficial. Cooling down the temperature is also ideal. 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius is ideal for sleep. This allows your body temperature to come down enough for optimal healing and rebooting of the body. Alcohol doesn't put you into the deep sleep that your body needs to heal. It knocks your brain out without putting your entire body into beneficial sleep. Caffeine drinks, when taken before bed, do not allow you to get the REM sleep you need, and which leaves you in the morning needing more caffeine than you needed the day before, which creates a cycle of dependency on caffeine throughout your day because you're drinking it at night, then you have to drink it in the morning. And so it goes on and on. Also, not staying in your bed while awake is helpful. Your bed should be a piece of furniture that your brain associates with sleeping. When you stay in your bed awake for a long period of time each day, you're training your body to stay awake in bed when it's time to sleep. If you've been in bed longer than 20 to 25 minutes trying to sleep and you're still awake, get up and relocate. Instead, utilize your living room or a comfortable chair with a dim light before bed to read a book or meditate. And then when you're sleepy again, get back into bed. We need to put mental well-being at the forefront. We all have stress in our lives. There really is no escaping it. How we respond to this stress determines how much damage stress does to our bodies. When a stressful event occurs, we can internalize it, which can lead to problematic coping. Self-destructive behaviors and substance dependency are common when we do not adapt well. This can lead to mental and physical exhaustion, loss of drive, and depression. It even increases our risk of heart attack and cancer. However, if we respond in a healthy way to that same stress by being mindful, we change that risk. We can become aware of our thoughts and feelings when stress happens. Then we can choose a proper response to that stress, such as becoming aware of the full context of the stressful situation. We can engage our emotions and problem-solving strategies to seek new options. We then have quicker recovery from stress and regain mental equilibrium and peace of mind.
All throughout the year, this is foremost, but in the fall, it's kind of great because, I don't know, for me, this is a time of introspection. I think about how the year has gone so far and approaching the holiday seasons, how I want things to go. There are so many simple things that we can do to support healthy mental well-being. And a lot of it just comes down to, again, that mindfulness. Are we being mindful when we have our meals? Are we being mindful when we're spending time with people that are close to us? Are we being mindful with ourselves? Are we taking moments to be reflective and introspective? Essential oils are absolutely made for mindful practices. These aromas intentionally help us be able to access parts of our brain that nothing else can. Aromas can access parts of our brain actually that are closest to our memories, if you have thought about that. And you may find this, when you smell a certain essential oil, you're presented with a memory path, or at least a feeling, even if you don't have a memory itself. The reason for that is our brain actually, kind of maps to different memories and different experiences. So, and the more you expose yourself to different aromas, that mapping then takes place. So let me give you an example. When I first smelled the rose essential oil, I immediately was transported back to my grandma's house because she always had a bowl of potpourri that smelled like that rose. And so I had that immediate reaction to the rose. It was a very positive one, of course, because my grandma's house was a happy place. But then as I've smelled rose more and more, that pathway has kind of changed, and it takes on new character because my experiences have changed, right? I've now had more circumstances under which I've experienced the rose essential oil, and my brain is mapping that for me. So as you get a chance to be mindful and meditate and experience these essential oils, you're changing your mind map. And if you do it consciously in a positive environment with a meditation practice or with someone that you love, or in, under circumstances that are good and positive, you're mapping that to your brain so that the next time you're exposed to that essential oil, it's a positive experience.
Our ability to manage emotions, make decisions, and solve problems depends on our mental and emotional state. Mental health begins with eating right, resting, and exercise. Additionally, cerebral practices like meditation, positive thinking, and self-development can be employed to cultivate a healthy mindset.
You can have some very powerful effects on your mental well-being by doing this. So it's very simple. If you take 5 minutes to do breathing and mindful meditation or guided meditation or some kind of meditative practice, that is a positive experience with that essential oil aroma that will then help create the next positive experience for you when you're exposed to it. A lot of essential oils are great for this. Let me give you a couple of examples that are some of my favorites that I love. Balance. This was, again, a very early blend of doTERRA's. This I used with one of my older daughters when she was having a very hard time in school. She was just little. Maybe she was in just kindergarten or first grade, just very, very tiny. She was having a really hard time adapting. And I would take Balance, and we would, again, at night, this is my favorite time, I would rub it on her little hands or feet, and we would talk, and we would just breathe. And sometimes I would just have her close her eyes, and we would do a little meditation exercise. It was amazing, the results that we found. I could see her being more calm, and her teachers would tell me that she was doing so much better at school and feeling more comfortable. Balance is an amazing one to add to a meditative practice.
For mindfulness, doTERRA Balance is formulated with emotionally beneficial essential oils that work together to create a sense of calmness and well-being. Frankincense is a grounding and balancing essential oil that will help you connect with yourself. When I was new to essential oils, I was talking to a colleague about some of the stress of my workday. She is a nurse midwife and was telling me that she has found a way to not carry those emotions home with her after work. I asked her, what does she do? She was shy about telling me, but finally I got her to tell me that she uses an essential oil called frankincense on her way home from work. She would get in her car and put a few drops in her hands and rub them together. After this, she would then cup them over her nose and mouth and inhale deeply the aroma of the frankincense. She really felt, as I now do, that it helped release some of the potential negative and stressful energy of the day and not bring those emotions home to her family.
Frankincense, of course, the king of essential oils. It is fantastic for creating that experience of calming and grounding. I like to think of it like walking in a forest, right? Frankincense has a lot of the same chemistry that you would find walking in an actual forest where the trees are giving off essential oil components. Alpha pinene, beta pinene, these are in the air when you're in the forest. So we can put them in the air of our homes, and it's like a forest experience. And scientists have shown that walking in the forest is great for your mental well-being. It supports us in ways that we probably don't even realize. But it's like bringing the forest into our homes. I think of it that way.
doTERRA Adaptive is another amazing blend. Whether you're feeling fatigued or restless, indecisive or irritable, the essential oils in Adaptive Touch and Adaptive Blend can help the body and mind stay balanced. I love Adaptive. With its essential oils that are high in linalool, it has become my before stage oil. Shortly before any presentation, I put Adaptive on my hands, rub them on the back of my neck, and then cup my hands over my mouth and nose while inhaling. This helps calm any nerves that I may have about my presentation and helps me be my best self from stage.
This is one of the newer blends that doTERRA has, but it was specifically made for things like meditation and mindfulness. And this one, my family and I used this quite a bit during the COVID pandemic when it was at its worst. We were in our house, which is, it's not small, but it's not big, and there's lots of us in there. And we were starting to feel that tension and that pressure of being so close to each other all the time. I had Adaptive and I brought it out every day. And we would have sessions where we would talk and we would smell our Adaptive and we would, sometimes do yoga. But having that aroma, now we associate that with those mindful experiences with each other. And it has become a very positive thing. My kids, interestingly enough, they look back on the COVID pandemic and all the shutdowns that we had as a positive thing, which I think is great. So that goes to show you that with some mindfulness and with some effort, you can actually make a big difference in how your reality is perceived. So keep that in mind. We have a lot of power. We have a lot of ability to be able to do this.
So let's talk about toxins and nature. From the food we eat to the air we breathe and the products we use, our bodies are constantly bombarded with toxins.
Now, the great news is our bodies have very good systems in place to deal with this. We have antioxidant systems. We have internal cleansing systems.
Our liver and kidneys are amazing organs that help clear toxins from our environment, our air, and even our own metabolic processes.
They're at work all the time. Our body is really good at taking care of the things that come in that aren't good for us. However, we do have our limits. And if we're not supporting those systems in their efforts to cleanse us of the toxins, they can build up, and they can build up very quickly.
We can support this natural detoxification process by eating right, exercise, and getting a healthy amount of rest. Incorporating clean products into our daily routines can also help support our body's needs.
So, what are some ways that we can reduce our toxic load and help our body systems out?
I'll give you 5 tips for reducing our toxic load. Number 1, embrace green cleaning products. Good and effective cleaning products don't have to have nasty ingredients.
This is one big area where we can expose ourselves to a lot of toxins if we're not careful. Laundry detergents, cleaning products, synthetic air fresheners, things like that. It's really easy. doTERRA has made it so easy to switch these things out for natural products that don't add to our toxic load. And in fact, just the opposite. They support the body systems that help us get rid of that toxic load. So it's kind of a twofold benefit that we get by switching out those kind of products.
Number 2, ditch your perfume. Most commercially bought perfumes are far from natural.
Let's switch those out for natural versions too.
Number 3, detox your skincare and hair care cabinet. Now, while I have very little hair care in my daily routine, some of you may. So choose natural products for your beauty routine.
The things that we put on our bodies every day, our skin, it can be very porous. It can absorb things that we don't necessarily want it to if we're not thinking about it. Let's switch those things over and give our bodies actually beneficial things to absorb rather than toxic things.
Number 4, avoid plastic. Besides being harmful to the environment, foods wrapped in plastic may contain traces of chemicals. Plastic contains endocrine disrupting hormones that can affect many different systems in the body. We should avoid, whenever possible, heating up food in plastic containers, as this transfers those hormones into the food we eat.
Using things like glass cookware or better, healthier kinds of metal that won't leach into our food, stainless steel, things like this. we're able to avoid some of the plastic components that can leach into our food and into our water.
And number 5, get familiar with labeling. Labels are a great source of information, so you know what you are putting into your body.
Looking at the labels of our foods and our products, let's, get familiar with some of those chemicals, especially things that you want to avoid. There's many lists of these chemicals, so don't be overwhelmed by learning all of them at once. But a good rule of thumb, short labels with that don't have chemicals that you can't even pronounce in them, they tend to be good. If you're seeing things like essential oils and natural things in a base of a lotion, for example, rather than huge long chemical names, that tends to be a good thing. There are exceptions because some of our plant chemicals can have really long names too. But that's why part of the burden is on us to be informed consumers. So I encourage you to start looking some of these things up and being familiar with what is in your products and the things that you do and don't want to have around and in and on you. So let me give you some great ideas for oils to use for helping reduce your toxic load, for ways that you can have an amazing, clean environment and a healthy body. Of course, lemon essential oil. This is one of doTERRA's most popular essential oils of all time because it is just amazing. You can use it for so many things. A lot of people are going to, they like to add a drop or two to their water.
Putting a few drops of lemon in our water every day can be amazing.
And this is a way to kind of, it's like this daily detox that a lot of people talk about, having this lemon in your water. And this, this isn't an uncommon thing. You see a lot of people who add a slice of lemon to their water. They'll squeeze it right in. Well, when you squeeze a lemon and you squeeze the lemon rind, what comes out? Lemon essential oil. So humans have been putting lemon into their water for a really long time.
The citrus taste, as well as the powerful chemistry, is a great combination to support our bodies naturally.
It's a good thing. It's very refreshing and healthy for your body. Now, that being said, I tend to avoid putting lemon in my water if it's a plastic water bottle. So keep that in mind too. Glass water bottles and stainless steel water bottles are much better if you're going to put essential oil in your water.
The Smart and Sassy blend has been created to align our metabolic processes throughout our body. The oils in that blend can assist in processing carbohydrates in our diet and even help control cravings.
Smart and Sassy. Ooh, this is a really nice blend. This is intended to help with some of these systems that we've been talking about, with digestion and with metabolism. It's got some essential oils, peppermint, cinnamon, and ginger, and grapefruit. These are intended to kind of fire up that metabolism, get everything working, get the digestion working better with the peppermint and the ginger. It's a really great blend, maybe one that I haven't appreciated as much as I should have. But recently, like within the past couple of years, this has been one that I like to use, especially my favorite way to use it is if it's kind of in between meals and I start to feel a little munchy, but I don't want to eat yet because I know that, I want to wait till lunchtime. This is one to break out. You smell it, you smell the aroma, and it's great for the appetite to help, make it be mindful. Do I really want to eat or am I just stressed? Do I really need to eat or am I just bored? Essential oils are great for helping your mind process things like this. So you're not just eating to be eating, which I have done in the past before, but I like to be more mindful. So
other products that you may consider using are Zendocrine Restart Blend or Zengest Terrazyme capsules.
These are great, again, for helping to cleanse and make sure that the digestive system is working the way that it's supposed to. Keeping in mind everything that the digestive system does all day, every day, processing our food, we want to make sure that it doesn't have buildup of gunk. If you think about things like your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink or toilet, you can see when stuff starts to build up on it. And it's kind of gross, right? It's pretty nasty. Let's clean those things off. Let's keep our digestive system clean, just like we clean the surfaces of our bathrooms and our kitchens. And Zendocrine and Zengest are the way that we do that. And we'll keep our systems from having anything yucky build up. We'll keep the toxins at bay. So the Zengest and Terrazyme, these are herbs that are intended to help us better process our food. And the Terrazyme, oh man, that's one that I absolutely love, especially if I know I'm vegetarian, so I eat lots and lots of salads, lots of fiber. This is a great one to help make sure my digestive system doesn't struggle with a lot of fiber from the veggies that I love to eat. So keep that one in mind. And then Zendocrine, this one's great for cleansing of the detox systems themselves. So when you think about your liver and you think about your kidneys, these are processing your waste products. We want them to be as healthy as possible. So that was the idea behind Zendocrine, was to support the systems that support us in our detox and metabolism. So altogether, I mean, there's lots of great products. So these are just a few. If you have your favorites, definitely use them, talk about them, teach other people about them. But these products, all of these products that we've talked about today, these are supportive of a holistic and healthy lifestyle. And if you've done much with doTERRA, you know these aren't hard switches to make. These are things that can integrate so easily into a healthy lifestyle. You know, you just add a few Terrazyme with your meal. You add a little bit of lemon into your water. You add some Serenity into a diffuser by your bed or onto your pillowcase. By doing just small steps to support our health, we are going to see big changes. And I can say that confidently because I have seen them in myself and in my family. And it is something that it always makes me excited, you know, to wake up in the morning, to have products that I know are going to help us get through the day and get healthier and be stronger.
As you assess your life and determine for yourself where you specifically need to focus your energy to create a more holistic lifestyle, I know that you will see great returns on your investment in yourself. It seems somewhat selfish sometimes to focus on ourselves when others need us so much, and those demands can be very high. However, if our own bucket is empty, then we cannot fill the bucket of others. We do have to make ourselves a priority on occasion so that we can be about the work of helping others. I applaud you for taking the time today to learn some new techniques on how to help yourself first and then help others.
Think about all the ways that you can make your body and your environment healthy and strong and protected. And that way, all year long, you can have an amazing, healthy experience and you can talk to other people about it. And then you can share your stories about how doTERRA supports you. So thank you so much. I wish you all health and happiness. And I hope that you are enjoying and loving these amazing doTERRA products. Take care.
Your journey towards holistic well-being starts today. Thank you.